My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content.
Hey kids, welcome back. Today our special guest, somebody special, zooming in from somewhere super special. Jillian Sidoti is in Puerto Rico. Jillian has a ton of experience when it comes to real estate investing, both as an operator, as a capital raiser, as a lawyer. So from the legalities and the Securities and Exchange Commission compliance side of things as well. She's a very, very well-rounded real estate expert. And today, we're going to be talking about raising capital in the age of AI. So Jillian, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here today. I've heard so much about you. I've listened to the show, so I just am so grateful to be here.
Well, thank you. And likewise. So Jillian, maybe tell us a little bit about, as of right now, we're in April 2026. What does capital raising look like for you? Are you currently raising capital for deals? If so, what kind of deals? Tell us a little bit about what you're doing in the real estate space right now.
That's a great question. I am actually helping a lot of different entrepreneurs, mostly real estate entrepreneurs, figure out how to raise capital in this day and age in AI with automations and all the bells and whistles. But the issue a lot of entrepreneurs have, or real estate investors have, is that they're afraid, and rightfully so, that they're going to start sounding like AI in doing automated reach outs, or that people won't respond to automated reach outs. And that's
or what your bot will be talking to somebody else's bot. It'll be bot on bot.
That's exactly right. And the thing, you're so right. And the thing is, it's so funny. When I started doing Investor Attraction Academy, we actually bought the business from someone, and the whole premise was we find investors through LinkedIn. And I'm like, I hate LinkedIn. I hate it. Like, I couldn't believe I was buying a business. I was teaching somebody to use something that I hate. Why do I hate? Yeah. Why do I hate LinkedIn? Well, I hate LinkedIn because how many of you out there are get messages in your inbox where they just immediately start selling you something, like whether it's their services or an investment opportunity or something like that. And I realized, wait, if you become that one pinpoint, one beacon in a sea of spam or a sea of people looking for something from you, you can really successfully raise capital, and you can do it in an automated fashion. It's just, how do you approach people? Are you approaching people with a giver's gain mindset, or, you got to give before you get mindset, or are you approaching it with, what can I get out of this person? And if you're doing the latter, then you're not going to be successful, because people are going to ignore your messaging. So what we really teach entrepreneurs is not just, how to do this, but what to do when you're doing it, so it's effective and people actually get back to you.
Well, okay, now you're teasing us. So maybe give us a little taste of what that looks like in the real world.
Absolutely. So another thing I'm actually going to go back a step for a minute here, because there's one thing that's really important when you're out there raising capital, or when you're really running any business, is that you have to know who you're talking to. You have to know who your target audience is. You have to know who your avatar is. And I cannot tell you how many real estate entrepreneurs come to me and they're like, I'm like, well, what are you looking for in an investor? And their answer is, I'm looking for somebody who has $100,000 or more, right?
Yeah, I'm looking for somebody who can fog a mirror and cut a check for $100,000. That's who I'm looking for.
Yeah. Well, how are you going to talk to that person? There's no really, like, if you're, dude, I don't know why this is an example that came into my head, but if you're talking to a Disney adult about Disney, they're going to get so excited. But if you're talking to any other adult who doesn't understand the Disney adult about how excited you are about Disney, that it's going to go straight over their heads. And it's the same thing, right? You have to know who you're talking to, what their fears are, what their desires are, what makes them tick, what makes them get up in the morning, what do they want their future to look like, how many kids do they have, what's their profession, what stresses them out. And a huge part is like really what they're afraid of. Like, how much risk are they afraid of? Are they afraid of running out of money? Are they afraid of working till they die? Like, what is it that they're afraid of? And then how do you speak to that fear, and how can you solve their problem? And you can't possibly do that if you don't know who the person is, right?
Yeah.
So that's the number one thing we start with, is just trying to figure out for our clients who that person is. And, by the time we get to the end here, I'll give everybody a tool so that they can figure it out themselves. They don't need to come and pay me, tens of thousands of dollars to do it for them. I'll give them the tool, of course, using AI to figure it out themselves, totally free. You don't even have to give me anything in return. You just go use the app and use it as much as you want. So,
Hey there, if you're a capital raiser, a syndicator, or a fund manager, and you're looking for a steady flow of incoming accredited investor leads, then go ahead, grab a free copy of my new book, How to Get 20 Accredited Investor Meetings Every Month Without Cold Calling, Networking, or Chasing People. You can get that at 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com. Again, that's the number 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com.
Nice. All right. So figuring out your quote unquote ideal investor avatar, that's step number one. Step number two is, it sounds like, LinkedIn is still working well, but most people are working it very unwell. They're doing a really shitty job with it. So how can we personalize it yet automate it at the same time? Because that's what you teased me about a second ago there, Jilly.
Yeah, exactly. So we have that information. We know about our avatar. We know what they're all about and who they are and what makes them tick. We can then start targeting them. We find them, right? We have to find them first. So we find them using software, using automations on LinkedIn. And you can do this by the way. We do it on Facebook. We do it on Instagram too. We just happen to start in the LinkedIn ecosystem. And LinkedIn's actually one of the more effective ways to do this. And then you're just starting a conversation. Hey, I saw you went to this huge one, I believe it or not, that we have people connect with is, hey, I saw you went to the same school as me. I was an engineer at that. I was, majored in engineering, and then, and now I'm a real estate entrepreneur. Maybe we can chat sometime.
So is that like the initial connection request kind of thing? That's what you said here? Yeah.
That's it. Like, so simple. You keep it like super simple. Don't go into a pitch. It's like the thing about if you go on a blind date for the first time, you don't bring a ring just in case. You just don't.
It's been so long since I've dated. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's really what it comes down to, is that we want to make sure that we're really, we're not just focused on who the person is and their fears, but we're focused on talking to them in a way that they just don't go delete or ignore or anything like that. We want to start these conversations. Finding investors is just like dating. You want to play a little hard to get. You don't want to be too anxious. You're just trying to find some friends. That's it. Make some connections, because the other part of it is too, you really don't want to turn people off early, because even if somebody isn't an investor now, you don't know when they might become an investor someday.
Or who they might know.
If you're messaging them properly. Right, exactly. So you start these conversations, you continue to post, you give valuable content, you have a method to your madness on your social media. You put messaging out there that matches your tone on a regular basis and matches the messaging. It gives some wisdom without sounding like AI. I see something that looks like it's been written by AI, and I immediately shut down, And I'm going to tell you, there's ways to write with AI without sounding like you wrote with AI.
So
It's
not a ton of
yeah.
emojis and dashes and whatnot in there.
Get rid of the M dashes. Number one, I actually trained my AI to get rid of the M dashes, right? So get rid of the M dashes, take out all the emojis. Too many entrepreneurs now are like, here's the lesson I learned. It's like, no one cares. Tell me what's important to me. No one cares what you learned at this point. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's over. The AI is always trying to teach us, put it like we're just some humble rich guy that learned lots of lessons along the way. No one cares. No one cares. But
Yeah.
all people care about is what's in it for them, right? So if you can put it at an angle of what's in it for them, and instead of this like fake humility or AI generated slop that really adds no value to anybody's life, you're not gonna get anywhere. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not a great writer. I'm really not. I'm not a great writer. I might be able to tell a good story or a good yarn, but I can't when it comes putting pen to paper, it's not great. So what I do a lot of for my own writing is I come up with a concept idea with a lot of details, and I just throw all those details into a properly trained AI engine and say, now give me a post about this, and then I will take it again and I will rewrite it to make it even more refined, to sound more authentic, to make sure that it's getting out there in the right place. And
So
you
yeah,
can
you
train your
edit it, you
AI.
proofread it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what works really well that I do a lot, Jillian, is just talk it. And like you say, the more detail, the better. And just don't, stream of consciousness. Then AI can do a good job with training on
Yeah.
polishing that up, making it look good. And then you go in and add your personality back into it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And now, things are moving so fast, right? So when we started doing this probably a little over a year ago with Investor Attraction Academy, we immediately started using AI. And the way I did it was I built GPT after GPT after GPT within OpenAI to create like this messaging. And it was successful. We had a lot of clients who were able to raise one client who raised $2 million in a month
Wow.
using a lot
Nice.
of the techniques that we gave them. So it was successful. But the technology is moving so fast that you can't stand still for even a moment. And so now we're moving into like using Claude bots and Claude code and
Cloud
and a
co-work and
lot of
all that
times,
stuff.
yeah. And so a lot of times I'll use like it just depends on what I'm writing. But I barely use ChatGPT anymore. It used to be that I was using ChatGPT so much I burnt it out every day, right? But now I switch between getting a framework from one place and putting it into Gemini to polish it because I feel like Gemini. I've just trained Gemini so well to write, but then I don't know. Claude Code is so great. I don't know how you can use anything else.
Yeah. No,
Claude Code is
it's
just amazing.
it's so getting back a little bit to LinkedIn, just to make sure I got my head around what you do. So you're talking about a combination of automation and personal communication. So the
Right.
automating part is finding the prospects. You can probably also automate the initial outreach. But then are you saying, okay, once they reply back, then your students jump in there and that's where they actually have the one-on-one conversations or what?
So we have this conversation back and forth, automated messaging. It's already built into your system. It's using AI. It's using your voice. We train the AI to understand who you are, and we use a variety of different softwares we've linked together that we're now replacing, of course, with Claudebot. But
Mhm.
but we that's basically what happens, and then the next step is to either get the person into a phone call or a webinar, an
Right.
educational the webinar does not pitch. The webinar is educational only. This is right now I'm working with a ton of note investors, and so a lot of those webinars are, this is why we buy notes. This is why notes is a good investment. This is how we look at notes. this is the difference between distress notes and performing notes. And it's a little more, depending on who your avatar is. Again, the webinar is written towards your avatar. We usually identify 3 different avatars, and the webinar will depend on the psychographics and the IQ, really, in a lot of ways, of your avatar, and how advanced we make that educational
Right.
portion.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so the webinar, what I tell people is you really don't want your webinar to be longer than 20 minutes. A lot of people think they need to do an hour-long webinar. You don't. People don't have the attention span for it. A TED Talk is the average of a TED Talk is 17 minutes. So we put it in that way. Like if a TED Talk 17 minutes, then your talk should not be longer than 20. No one's going to sit there and listen to it. Because if they have questions, they can follow up with a phone call to you. And that's where the magic really happens, is like after they've seen the webinar, they get on a call. And then this is where, like, hey, would you be interested in finding out more about our investment opportunities? So it's a build up, like, to that particular phone call, but everything up to that point has been carefully curated and automated. So the entrepreneur can stick to doing business instead of chasing investors, so that by the time the investor is in the what we call the buyer's pocket, where they're already ready to say yes. Now it's just a matter of actually pitching to
Having
them.
that one-on-one conversation with them. No,
Yeah.
that's fascinating. Jillian, congratulations on getting things so dialed in with AI. Sounds like
Thank
you know
you.
what you're talking about with that stuff. Now, you teased us at the beginning with a couple of free tools that you've got for folks. So as we're wrapping up our interview, where should people go if they want to connect with you? If they want to get those freebies, and what are those freebies what are those ChatGPTs?
So we have 3 great GPTs that still work. They're in OpenAI. So if you have an OpenAI, a ChatGPT account, they will work for you. And just email me for them. One of them is going to actually figure out who your avatar is. And then once you figure out who your avatar is, you can dump that information into a limited partner finder tool that I built that will actually help you find companies and people that could potentially invest in you on LinkedIn. So it's all like the little things that you need to get done. And I can't remember what the third one is, but I have 3 of them. I'll help you. The third one is like the messaging. It will actually help you write the messaging.
Very nice. So how do people get those?
That would be helpful, right?
Yeah.
You guys can all just email me at Jillian at findmoreinvestors.com. And Jillian is spelled Jillian, and that's Jillian at findmoreinvestors.com.
Beautiful. Jillian, that's been a lot of fun. Thanks for being on the show, and I'll have to have you on again. Things change so fast. I think we could probably have a conversation every week and it'd be something new in AI and raising capital, but love to have you on in another 6 months.
Awesome.
All right, everybody, take care, and we will see you on the next one.
Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewsyou.com.